After Tesla shareholders voted to approve Elon Musk's pay package, many investors are hoping that this will be the return of the old Elon with a renewed focus in the EV manufacturer. Joining us right now to talk about this and more is Tim Higgins. He's the Wall Street Journal business columnist, also a CNBC contributor. And Tim, it's great to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, so he was back on stage, dancing around, telling him he loved these shareholders. Is this a return to the days of old?
It looks like it, right? I mean, you see all sorts of Elons these days. And, what was worrying some investors was the sad Elon, the angry Elon. And here we had the Elon that excites these investors and excites the market about the potential for what Tesla can do. And the concern for so many months has been that Elon was distracted someplace else, that he was going to leave. And the idea that he could maybe bring some of his attention to Tesla is definitely what these investors are so excited about.
So the investors voted for this, but it still has to go through the Delaware court process. I mean,
Absolutely.
Is that potentially convoluted, or does this, look, they did what the judge was saying they didn't do last time around. It's hard to imagine that they voted in favor of it this time and they didn't know what they were talking about, or the board diluted them. There's been so much written and spoken about it.
Well, that's the argument that Tesla's going to make, that this turnout, this excitement will help bolster their case as they appeal this. But legal experts say this is going to be decided in the courts. Multiple scenarios could play out. The judge could say, yes, exactly, that Tesla shareholders knew what they're doing, or maybe not agree. And this could potentially likely go to the Delaware Supreme Court.
Okay, let's set this part aside, because there have been some questions raised about Tesla, about its future, and those could still stick around, too. Stock has been under pressure.
It's interesting because when we saw him on stage, it was so much excitement about robots and AI. Yeah. But the core issues for Tesla are in the today. The car-making business, metal bashing is tough, and Tesla is in a little bit of a slump here. EVs are not necessarily as exciting this year as they've been in past years for consumers. And Tesla really is kind of going to market with some old vehicles. And so there's concern there that maybe they are on their back foot.
Robo-taxis. He said that that's basically the heart of the plan, and that they're going to have, with full self-driving, they will have an entire robo-taxi business that you can put your car in, your Tesla in, whenever you choose to do it, or take it out. I mean, how far away is that promise?
It seems like it's pretty far away. We don't know everything under the hood, obviously, but we haven't seen any technology that would suggest they're ready to deploy that today. For example, I live in San Francisco. I can see Waymos going around the city without people in them. The robot taxi is working there, but Tesla hasn't put that kind of technology in play yet.
How many do you see in San Francisco? Because we don't really see them here.
I see them all the time. When I go for my morning run, I'm seeing half a dozen usually. In fact, I have a game where I take pictures of them and send them to my niece so she can see them.
I would like to see them here, too. I mean, there is an argument to getting more and more of these things on the road, just in terms of trying to bring down fatalities, because we've gotten worse as drivers over the last few years.
That's the argument. That's the argument that Tesla and Elon has been making for years, that even if the technology is not all the way ready there, that it'll be improving safety. But we've seen in San Francisco real hesitance among residents when these cars get into crashes, because we're a little less forgiving if a robot crashes into you.
Right, and somebody has to be responsible for that. So
right.
How do you come up with the liability questions on that is the other side of it, too. Your article goes on to take a look at some of the shareholders and pension funds who are unhappy with some other issues, too. Just the idea of a divided Elon in terms of where his attention goes and in terms of where the resources go.
Yeah, absolutely. For years, Elon has been making the case that Tesla is this AI company, this self-driving car company, and that it was a big play for AI. Well, now he's doing one of his other startups is an AI company, XAI. So there is concern among some investors that maybe he's taking his best ideas elsewhere, and that doesn't sit well with them.
What can be done about it?
That's the question. The litigation has been filed, but Elon has made the case that he thinks that both companies can help each other.